So I've seen chemotherapy impact the quality of life in my family. We help people keep their hair from chemotherapy by cooling their scalp. And this treatment is an option for 600,000 people per year. To explain how our treatment works, I'd like to share Tiffany's story from our clinical trial. Tiffany had her own hair guardian system. She would put on her cap about 30 minutes before chemo and gradually cool down to a temperature that blocked the chemo from her hair cells. Tiffany wore her cap all during chemo, and when it ended, she was able to leave her clinic and continue cooling, often finishing up on her long ride home. The portability, which allows for a longer hair savings treatment, along with a custom fit cap, create a superior user experience. Current methods to preserve hair aren't where they need to be. For example, you may need to spend up to 8 hours cooling in the clinic to be effective, and this just isn't practical for clinics. Hair Guardian is thermally fail-safe, so frostbite's impossible. Its high efficacy is because of a custom fit cap combined with solving the problem of cooling away from the clinic. We have an experienced team. Mike is a strong technical lead and business leader, and our medical advisor is also a former Hair Guardian user. Our advisory team and other organizations have been very helpful. It really does take a village. Now is the perfect time for our patented technology to set the standard for saving hair from chemotherapy. And in January, Medicare releases a reimbursement code for scalp cooling. During our clinical trials and with no advertising, people called me, some in tears, asking to use Hair Guardian. So thank you, and I'm happy to address any questions.
Wonderful, thank you. Judges?
Laura, I'm wondering whether or not you ran a real clinical trial or whether or not you were just looking at whether or not there was a market for your product. But a bigger question I have is, how complicated is compliance in order to fulfill this? You didn't give us any idea on how often, how long, etc., to complete a program like this.
Okay, sure. Yes, we did do clinical trials and have proven efficacy. And it works by cooling for every chemo session. You can't miss any. And we collect data for compliance. So 2/3 of the cooling took place outside the clinic, and we collect data in the cloud so we can determine compliance.
I had a question about the size of the units. It looked like they were pulling around a small cooler behind them. What is people's perception of kind of lugging that around? Is there plans to miniaturize that?
Yes, we have advanced from our clinical trial model, and it is smaller. It is smaller than carry-on luggage, but about that. So people are very comfortable with carry-on luggage. It's very similar.
What's the alternative for the patient?
Losing their hair, if you mean that. It is losing your hair, which
What are the alternative treatments?
Alternative treatments are, right now, the only thing I'm familiar with to save your hair is scalp cooling. If that's what you're asking, there are facility-based systems already in existence where the system resides in the clinic. And then there are manual gel caps that are not FDA approved and will likely never be approved because of safety issues.